Very disappointing. The atmosphere was brilliant. I think which is one that we expected it, and I think probably in a difficult period, sort of the game, I think the crowd lifted us. But the game is about goals and in possession and out of possession, and I thought in possession at times we were good. I think we showed glimpses in the game of some good quality, and I think there were some decent performances in the game. But we conceded two soft goals, two really soft goals, and sometimes you have to look back at them, just to make sure that you've got it right when it happens at the moment. But exactly what I saw at the time and seeing it again is exactly the same. And of course, if you give a team that have got quality players like they have, if you give them their moments, then they can hurt you, and that's what they did.
Especially the second goal, I'd imagine, Chris, having just got yourselves back into the game and the City ground right behind you at that point, to concede that second goal at that time in that way must be horribly frustrating.
Yes, it was. I mean, they were both poor games, but you were right. We'd got back in the game. And at that stage, we certainly, if we wasn't going to win the game, we're up against a good team. But if we wasn't going to win the game, we certainly didn't look like losing it. But these are the moments. These are the moments that are in and out of possession, and in possession you've got to work as hard as you can. And I think we did in the second half, even when they went down to 10 men, and I know they dropped, but I thought we pushed, got the ball into wide areas. Alex Martin was a threat on this side, Jordan Gabriel on the other side, and I think we've done the right things there. But what you've got to be able to do is that you've got to do that with some discipline, and that means when the opposition break, you've got to show that type of defensive responsibility to make sure that you stay in the game. And so probably that was probably the most disappointing thing, that 1-1 in a game that we looked like we could push on and win, that we didn't.
Once they'd gone down to 10 men, Chris, you made those attacking changes in the end. How tempted were you to do that earlier, as soon as they'd gone down to 10 men?
No, I think what happens is that it's about momentum, and I thought we had good momentum, and at that stage we were still threatening, and so that's the balance. The balance is that you are in a good moment, you've got good momentum, and then that little bit of freshness. That's and of course what we did, we changed the system as the game went on, got Philip in a deeper role, thinking that he could be more of a purveyor of the ball than higher up the pitch. And if you get your moments right, and I don't think I can fault the players as regards the amount of possession that we had, in their half in that period of time, and even in the final third. It's just them quality moments that you need that they had for the two goals.
It was fine margins at times, wasn't it? I mean, I think about Ryan Yates hitting the inside of the post by about a millimetre. That goes in, doesn't it, if it's a millimetre to the right? And towards the end, you'd almost got through again with that.
Yes,
nice
I mean, some really good moments. And as I say, I'm more disappointed with the goals that we conceded than our play in the game. And I genuinely felt, it's been a little bit of a difficult time. We've got players, Toby, just his second game, hasn't done hardly any of the pre-season, and of course Geordie coming in for his first game, his debut, and so we're a little bit like that. So taking that into consideration, I was delighted with a lot of what I saw, and I don't think I can accuse the team of not wanting to be offensive or not wanting to score goals. It's just them quality moments that allow you to do that.
I was going to ask you, I think you probably just answered it in that answer, Chris, but I'll ask it anyway. 2 defeats in the first 2 games, does it worry you at all, that?
Every defeat worries me at any stage of the season. So, as regards wanting to win games, that's what the game is about. And you want a team that can pick up points and that can be competitive and that can win football matches. So yes, it always worries me when we lose any football match. But what we have to do is we've got another one here on Wednesday night, another home one, and we start feeling sorry for ourselves, then there'll only be one outcome. So what we've got to do is dust ourselves down and make sure that we continue to show a lot of the good things we did today, and make sure that we are more resilient at the other end.
What about, you mentioned him earlier, Jordi Osei-Tutu making his debut today. I mean, obviously more known as a right back and playing on the left-hand side out of necessity probably, but what did you make of him today?
No, I thought we grew into the game. I think as the game went on, he was obviously visibly tired at the end, but of course in the position we are probably at that moment, he was always going to have to play 90 minutes, and it's in a position that it's not really his position. So I think overall he grew into the game and had a good game. But for him, it's about making sure that he recovers well, and then looking forward to going forward on Wednesday night.
What about that area and generally reinforcements? I mean, obviously there's still a couple of weeks left of the window, isn't there? But do you need people in before Wednesday, do you think?
We need people in full stop, and the ideal situation would be to have got players in as early as possible. But it's been a difficult window, not just for us, but for most. And certainly it's not through lack of effort or lack of trying that we haven't brought in. But we know we have to strengthen this squad. I mean, that I think goes without saying. And whether that's the next few days or whether that's the next few weeks, that I don't know. But certainly that is our intention.
We spoke after every game last season, Chris, and a lot of the time we were saying the same thing about how frustrating it was in the final third, couldn't get chances created, couldn't score goals. When you compare what you're seeing in the first 2 or 3 games this year to what was happening last year, are you happier that it's going to come this year?
Yes, I from what I've seen so far in the games, and I think Brennan's given us a little bit of a different dynamic. If I look at what we've had, maybe we've had a little bit more of an attacking midfield player in that position, where Brennan is, most definitely more of an offensive player. So I think he's given us, a little bit more of that. Philippe coming in has got qualities that I think that we've seen today. So, we want to be as strong as possible, and we will continue to try and strengthen that area. But there are aspects of the last couple of games of a lot that I've been happy with. But ultimately, we've conceded poor goals today, and we're on the back of a first game where we've conceded a couple of goals, and if we don't stop that, it will make life difficult for ourselves.
Go back to the start. I know it was a disappointing end today, but what did you make of your first experience of being a manager in front of 25,000?
I know the noise levels here from having been here before in the opposition dugout. So I knew what to expect, and certainly I wasn't disappointed by it. I mean, it's a wonderful football atmosphere. I don't think there would be many crowds, if any, crowds in the Championship that will have the numbers that we had today. And we as a team have got to make sure that we encourage them. They like what they see. And that's about making sure that we get results for them.